He turned, searching out the trees, and then he looked to his feet, hoping that the flurries weren't falling fast enough to erase all signs of footprints. He could barely make them out. Luke had escaped across the road into the trees to the northwest, but it seemed that he'd somehow doubled back. That realization dawned just in time for Gabe to turn around halfway and almost ward off the blow that came his way when the perp, Luke, cracked him hard over the head with a massive oak branch. The wood was dry and brittle, and he could almost hear it cry out at the abuse as his own head began to spin, and the jarring pain took hold. Gabe fell to his knees. Luke let out the sound of delighted laughter. "Gotcha," he said. No, it wasn't ending here. Gabe wasn't dying in a pile of snow while Luke went on to torment a family on Christmas Eve. Or worse. He reached out, glad of his strength as he snaked a firm grip around his opponent's ankle, jerking him off his feet. Luke crashed down beside him. He tried to seize the advantage and jump on his quarry, but Luke rolled, and Gabe was left to stagger to his feet. There was something trickling down his forehead, blinding him. Blood. He let out a cry of determination and flew at Luke, tackling him down into the snow. Luke fell once again. Gabe landed a good hook to Luke's left cheek, but he had no time for satisfaction. Luke, bellowing in pain, still managed to catch hold of something in the snow. A rock. "Oh, my old friend. The night is mine now. I'm ahead of you at every step," Luke said with pleasure. Go figure. Luke found a rock on the road beneath the snow. As proud as a crow, he held it for a fraction of a second above Gabe. "The challenge is on, and you've lost already," he said. He brought the rock down hard against Gabe's skull, and Gabe went down. He saw the flurries in the sky and couldn't help but think, how beautiful. So much on God's earth, even in winter, was stunningly beautiful. He slumped down, stars spinning before his eyes, and then fading away to the blackness of a moonless night. Gabe came to. He didn't know how much later. He blinked away the pain and pressed cold snow against his face, hoping that would help clear his head. It did. He tried to stagger to his feet. His first attempt failed. He tried again. When he stood, he realized that his vision was fine. The world seemed to be a strange shade of gray because dusk was falling. Somewhere, people were watching the extraordinary show of the sun sinking in the west. Here, the day was just going from opaque and overcast to the murky gray that promised a very dark night very soon. Which way had Luke gone? He brought his gloved fingers to his face and noted that something was off. He stretched out his arms and looked down at his legs and groaned. Luke had stolen his clothing, his Virginia Department of Law Enforcement uniform. God help him. The challenge was really on now. Chapter 1. The landscape was crystal, dusted in a fresh fall of snow that seemed to make tree branches shimmer as if they were dotted with jewels. Of course, the same new snow that made everything so beautiful could also become treacherous, Morwenna thought, trying to adjust her defroster as the car climbed up the mountainside. With her initial reaction of, "How beautiful," barely out of her mind, she wondered why her parents hadn't decided to buy a retreat in the Bahamas, Arizona, or Florida, instead of forever maintaining the centuries-old, difficult-to-heat rustic old cabin in the Blue Ridge Mountains. If the snow started up again, which forecasters were predicting, the beauty would definitely become dangerous. "Other people opt for warmth," she muttered aloud. "Birds do it. They fly south for the winter." If the snow had started up a bit earlier, she might have had a great excuse not to come. That thought immediately made her feel guilty. She loved her parents. She even loved her siblings, with whom she'd been fighting all her life. But this was going to be a rough Christmas. She winced. Shayne was going to be miserable. His own fault. She'd tried to tell her brother many times that he needed to start working harder.